Hey guys, my name is Melissa Dow, and this is my round 2 audition video for It's Alive. Thank you guys so much for putting me through to round 2. I'm so excited and so humbled to be here, and I love you guys, so thank you so much. Moving on to questions. Number 1, what is your strongest strength? I feel like my strongest strength is and continues to be my heart. That's my focus and my drive and my passion, my stubbornness, my tenacity, my willingness to just keep on pushing through. And I want it. You absolutely know I want it. And I'm going to keep pushing forward to, see those big dreams come true. Being true to myself is really important, and keeping that sense of genuineness, absolutely. And I hope that that continues to just be a part of who I am, that it's in my heart. It's always been there, but really in the past year I feel like it's really come forward, and so I'm going to keep pushing that for sure. And what is your biggest struggle? I've said self-doubt in the past, which is true, but I also feel like, to be a little more specific, something I've thought about a lot lately is, I don't know, like 10 years ago or so, I don't know when I started doing this, but somehow I had started setting up these like parameters of what I felt a real artist or a real illustrator was. And mainly that was, somebody who made a living from art. And so, of course, in turn, because, I had this day job and wasn't making a living from art, then I wasn't a real artist. Well, of course, that's absolutely not true. And then, that leads to self-doubt and all these other negative feelings. And luckily, being in OA and around all these positive people has made me, a lot of people in the same boat as me too, has made me really realize that that's just like a really unhealthy way to think about things. Of course, I'm a real artist. No matter what, I am an artist. And so, yeah, I mean, I've struggled with that, but I think I've released now, have come to be aware of what I was doing, and that viewpoint I was taking. So just trying to push through that, and really have a change of that perspective, I think is going to be a really good thing. Number 2, what are your big dreams? Prove it. My big dream is to be an independent creator, and I really think that my whole life, honestly, has kind of been moving towards proving it, if only just to myself. And I just had to realize it, especially in the past 6 months, with painting drama and Chris, and all, other people have really made me focus in on going, yes, of course, I'm an independent creator, doing my own projects, working for clients who want what I do. That's where I want to be, and that's my big dream. And I feel like, honestly, my whole life has just been moving towards proving it. And number 3, what does your art look like 10 years from now, and your career? I feel like 10 years from now, I'll want to be making that art, the art that I feel like in my soul, that visceral feeling that I can see, if that makes sense. I want it to correlate with what I'm making more. Like, I want there to be less of a gap there. And, just more boldness, more confidence, that effortlessness you see in those artists who are at the top of their game. It's not effortless. It took years to get there, but it looks that way. And that's so cool. And that's definitely where I want to be in 10 years. And as far as career-wise goes, again, independent creator, being that person that they call because they want Melissa Dow to do the Melissa Dow thing, not just a list of artists. Making the work that I want to make for clients who want what I do. That's just amazing to me. And it does, video games, concept art, character design, of course, illustration. I don't want to be limited necessarily to a specific thing. I want to do my independent creating thing for many types of clients, which is like Brent Bean is such a good example of that. He's just like a rock star, rock star independent creator. So cool. Yeah. So number 4, who's your favorite Muppet? Gonna stick with Miss Piggy here. She's crazy, but self-aware crazy. You gotta respect that. Number 5, how much time do you spend working on fundamentals and practicing fundamentals, working from observation? I will honestly say not as much as I would like to recently, because I've been working on so many different things. I really try to do something every week, 1 to 2 hours. But yeah, it's been harder lately. So I'm hoping with this, if I can get in this class, that I can do some more cafe sketching more observation, the figure and things like that. So yeah, I think that's so important. You can't out Photoshop bad fundamentals. It's just impossible. The crack show of that foundation is not solid. Number 6, what is your relationship to failure? You know, I kind of touched on this in the previous question, but it's like, I used to define failure, honestly, as like somebody who wasn't making a living from art. Like, that was a failure. It's like, of course it isn't. You know, failure, honestly, right now, my relation to failure has changed a lot. You could say it's complicated, but I think a lot of us feel that way. But really, it's like, oh God, it's like now, for me, honestly, the only failure is quitting. The only failure is not doing what I know I can do, what I know I'm meant to do. I mean, honestly, just talking about it makes me like emotional. Seriously, it's like that is the only failure that there is, and like I refuse to accept that. Um, yeah, sorry, weirdly emotional over that. Anyway, so yeah, and as far as class goes, you know, it's not a failure. Every failure you make is really just, you know, a learning experience. Take that and learn. You can change that definition of failure. Absolutely, you know. Yeah. So, number 7, how do you respond to direct, tough love criticism? You know, I love it. The more, the better. I love it. I love it. I love it. Give it to me. OA has, you know, you just can't go back from that. Best criticism, best, I should say, feedback, because it's coming from a good place. That person wants you to succeed. You know, you need to listen. God, you get so much out of it. Don't take that for granted. That is there to you just make the best of it. And so for me, you know, I can't get enough of it. And I can't get enough. I know that's like a crazy answer, but I've run out of time. I'm sorry about the emotional part. I love you guys. Bye.